Oh, I like on Earth.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't want to be on Earth in middle school. I didn't want to be on Earth in Jersey. I didn't want to be on Earth a lot of times in life. Just from how I felt inside. There's been a lot of times I didn't want to be alive.
What helped you to push past that? Because there are many people who were not able to.
What helped me push past it is I prayed. I prayed for life to get better. I prayed every single day. I'm going on like 6+ years of praying every single day. And I might have missed 1 or 2 days, and that's only because that simply forgot, which comes down to waking up and just going too fast with life. You know what I mean? And I noticed that those days were worse than every other day I prayed. And I think like I'd say one of the reasons I didn't kill myself is definitely because I was too scared to. You know what I mean? I was never a person. God bless the people that had the balls to cut themselves. I didn't have that. You know what I mean? The closest I ever got was picking up a knife in middle school and being like, I don't want to be here. You know,
Mental health or wellness person, and your LinkedIn content ain't looking too good, and you worried about if I'm gonna get the clients I'm looking for, or you need some white papers done or some articles done that you haven't had done, and some PR articles, and you may just need something to tighten up on, or somebody to do that for you, and it's lacking because you don't have it, a newsletter to push out to your clients, and you just don't have it, and you're not going to get the results you wanted because you don't have it done. Of course that's going to happen, but it can be changed if you reach out to me, Izzy Baker, for your mental health and wellness content. If you need anything done as far as white papers, articles, if you're in the podcast and YouTube description, anything social media written for you, your LinkedIn is really important. If you need that, I know I got the recipe for it. If you need anything like that done, reach out to me and we can get something going with that. All right, y'all, what's going on? We are back for another episode after a week break, but it won't be no more breaks into the D break after this. Well, so it's got this week, and then we got 2 more weeks. We got a two-parter. What's what I'm looking for? We got a two-part end of the season series, and that was going to be interesting. It was actually supposed to only be one episode, but ended up getting into two parts, like the way it was set up and with the guest, and then so that'll be something for y'all to look forward to as we wind down this season and this holiday season, because Christmas is next week, and then New Year's Eve is after that, and then we'll be into 2025. But the real ones know 2025 already started. I hope you ain't wait till now to start 2025, or wait till the first, because at that point you're a little too late. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this week's meme. The meme reads, you can have control, you can have growth, but you can't have both. All right. Inspirations for this comes from, that actually was a quote by somebody, and I cannot remember who I heard it from. We're going to dissect it on every angle, but it was by somebody. Well, it was partially by somebody. Like, they said it kind of just like in like those little videos. It was like, and I put something together with it. So that's one of them. The second one actually comes from an episode of with the Perrys, with Jackie Hill Perry and Preston Perry on their podcast. Actually, I think this is going to be their season finale, and then they said they're taking a big break. But it was a quote that Jackie said when she said the difficulty is the mercy. And you're probably thinking, what do I mean by that? I'm going to expound on that a little later. So keep that in mind, probably in the challenge that section. So be prepared for that. All right. What else did I want to say? It was something else I was going to say. It'll come back to me at the right time. But all right, now let's go ahead and jump to the next section, which is happy hour. And for this happy hour, I want to talk about something that's on my mind. So, although Christmas is on my mind, y'all gifts not. Y'all gifts still at the store. I think for this Christmas, which is now, since today is Thursday and Christmas is next Wednesday, I think that a lot of y'all gonna be just getting IOUs, similar to how people owe me money. Y'all just gonna be getting IOUs for Christmas, since I got IOUs all year, and people been, oh, I'm gonna get you back, I'm gonna pay you back. So now the IOUs are coming in Christmas gifts. I'm gonna get a big bag. I'm gonna dress it up real good. I'm gonna get a card, and then in the card they're gonna say "Love," my name, and it's gonna say "I owe you." Because I think that's what we should start doing. Because there's so many people that owe us money and owe me money that is ridiculous. If I literally counted all the money that I'm owed, I could probably pay my rent twice just from this month and last month alone. I could pay my rent twice. That's how much money I'm owed right now. And no, I wasn't betting. Don't ask. I wasn't doing no parlays. I wasn't doing none of that. But they owe me money. Now, you probably thinking, well, have you said something to them? Yeah. You know what I hate when people owe you money and they say, and they'll text you randomly saying, I forget about you. That means give me a little more time. That's what that means. But I read the room. I'm not going to lie to nobody like that. Because I done had somebody before wait 3 months to get my money back. Now, this case, it wasn't me borrowing money from or letting nobody borrow money, because that's different. It was a service was done and something came up. Now, 2025 ain't gonna be none of that. And now that I will wait till the new year to start. Y'all got away with it in 2024. 2025, no. Ain't no. If the things start today and you like, okay, I get paid Friday, I'm gonna start Friday. I ain't no more, because people take advantage when y'all cool. Have y'all noticed that? Why do we do that as a community? Why we take advantage of people just because we cool? Because I guarantee if you go to one of them big wigs somewhere, one of those big old offices, and you doing work for them or content for them, I guarantee they'll probably pay you up front the minute you say yes. They'll be the ones that pay you up front and ask, is that enough? Them the ones you need to look out for. So for all the content creators out here and all the people who doing stuff for people and ghostwriting and social media, whatever you're doing, it usually say take half up front. If you don't have a contract for your business, make a contract and make them sign it. So now it's legally binding. That's all I got to say about that. All right, so now I have a great guest today, y'all. I believe, me personally, I'm in a season. God has journeyed me through a season. Did I say journeyed? Can I say that? It's got me in a season of letting him be in control. So I know a firsthand experience, and even the next 2 episodes after this kind of will storyline this topic even further. But this is definitely something that I think, low-key could be a 3-parter, really. But it's not. So, but anyway, like I was saying, a topic about control, somebody who is, reached out to me. And I think that once I did my research on them, because I'm gonna let y'all know something, I be screening y'all. Some people don't really knowing that. I be screening these people. It ain't just hey, let's be on the podcast. I'm like, okay, bet. No. It's so many people that I can't do it all. Some of them I get back to, some not so much. Some I'll say come back later, because like in my case, the season finna end. But I'm interested to see how this conversation was going to go, because I know it's going to be a good one. So let me go ahead and introduce him, because I'm ranting and he has a lot to say. My dog, what's going on?
Hey, happy Tuesday. Happy to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, the people can see your name on YouTube and where they see your brand, but I want you to tell the people what's your name, where you're from, and where do you live now?
My name is Eddy Vieira. I am from the great state of Rhode Island. And what was the other part?
Where do you live now?
Where do I live now? I'm right in Riverside, Rhode Island, and happy to be here. I grew up in Rhode Island, and I've done a year in Jersey in my lifetime.
Okay. Now I met a girl from Rhode Island. What was it, last year? My birthday in Phoenix, and then one of my homeboys was like, "She sounded like Lois from Family Guy," and I was crying because that show is based in Rhode Island. So
that's a fact. It is.
But anyway, so now tell the people what it is that you do for a living. What's your passion? All that good stuff.
So my what I do for a living, I currently work at Rhode Island College. I also work at a nutrition club, and I also for a living. By the grace of God, I do personal training. I do online coaching, and I have an apparel brand that is a part of what I do for a living. I also, this is part of my living. I go around the state of Rhode Island and New England as a whole, and shine the brightest light possible on the student athletes of Rhode Island. And my passion, I call it a purpose, but it's just to serve the people, but serve myself first.
All right, I can dig it. Now you mentioned that Hunger Breed Says is a brand that God gifted you.
Yes.
So what do you exactly mean by that? Can you share the story behind like its creation and like what hunger means to you personally?
So the creation behind Hunger Breeds Success, and when I tell people God gifted me it, is because, like, I feel like everything that's been given to me has been given to me by Him. And when I typed out the idea, I was typing out tattoo ideas, and I came up with, it started out as like never lose faith, and it was like 10 different things, and then I typed out Hunger Breeds Success, and immediately I thought of people who, they don't have the basic necessities. They might not know where their next clean meal is going to come from. They might not have clean water, no clothes, no place to sleep. And I thought about them, and I thought about people that like them that are just starving for that chance to be successful. And then I flipped it and I was like, okay, what about the people who they have all the basic necessities? They wake up, they got a car, they got food, they got water, and they're miserable. They're taking for granted the opportunity and the pure joy of being happy to be alive. And then
Right.
what was, you asked another part to the question?
Oh, I was just saying what hunger means to you personally.
Hunger means to What hunger means to me is to never give up. No matter what you go through, whether you take breaks, you come back stronger, and you just never give up. Like that's really what it means. Just so hungry to never give up on what you're going for.
All right, I can dig it. I can dig it. Now, you already mentioned you spent a brief time in New Jersey, and you talk about growing up in Rhode Island. So, like, how have those experiences shaped you to the person you are today?
The experiences in Rhode Island were my first 18 years of life, and then my parents split, and me and my mom went down to live with my aunt in New Jersey in May of 2018 till June of 2019. And I always tell people that was my pivot moment, where, like, if I never go to Jersey, I never hit the lowest of all lows I had ever been at mentally. And without that, I don't Hunger Breeds Success doesn't become what it's become. You know what I mean? It doesn't turn into it, because I I I say the life experiences, like when I was in Rhode Island, I went to the gym in high school, and like as a high school kid, I did a lot of just eating as minimal as possible, eating the least amount of food, and doing all cardio, no weightlifting. So I got down to a low weight, but I still had like the chest fat, which like held me back a lot in life. And then when I went to Jersey, August 6th, 2018, is when like I took a picture in the mirror, and I was just tired of hating myself, tired of feeling like a loser. And I said, I'm going to, I found a local gym, shout out to Retro Fitness. And I just started there, and I never looked back.
Okay, good stuff. So, in that situation where you were at your lowest, we're talking about control. It was were the things that happened to you out of your control,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
did you feel helpless as if there was nothing you can do about it?
It was definitely out of my control. I couldn't control, but like as a young kid, like I couldn't control my parents splitting up. I couldn't control their issues, but as a kid, you feel like it's your fault. You feel like, maybe it's something that I'm doing wrong that's leading to my parents, wanting to split or wanting to argue or having issues. And it definitely was out of my control, but like I tried to control the situation. And I went through that moment where like I started to like for the first time in my life, like I questioned God. I said, like, God, like, why me? Like, why is my parents got to do this? Why do I got to move? Why do I got to up and leave my hometown and leave all my friends to go start a whole new life? You know what I mean? Like, when am I going to come home? And it was definitely out of my control, but I took what the cards was dealt. And there was an opportunity for me to stay. last minute, my dad tried to, keep it together and say it's okay, we can all get back together. And I'm like, no, Dad, like this is already happened. We're a couple weeks away from moving. Like, we gotta go.
Okay. So let me ask you two questions. So I got a few words, two words, and I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to mind, and there's no right or wrong answer. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right. The first word is control.
Happiness.
The second word is growth.
Forever.
All right. The definition of control that we're going based off today says the power to influence or direct people's behaviors or the course of events. And then growth is the process of increasing in amount, value, or importance. All right. So that's a nice segue because we're going to our next segment for today, which is what does this have to do with mental health? Now, first, let me ask you on the scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, how is your mental health today?
10.
Why is that?
I'm happier than I've ever been and mentally stronger than I've ever been.
Okay. That's good to hear.
Thank you.
Especially, huh?
Thank you.
No problem. For sure. For sure. So, I mean, that's good to hear because sometimes people just need to that check in just to see, like, what's going on, how are they feeling. Sometimes I know I used to live with anxiety and it'll come back here and there from time to time. I have to kind of catch it, but it doesn't like it was like a daily thing. And I find myself, and everybody has their different struggles mentally, but one of mine is I struggle sometimes with guilt of things that I've done in the past.
Yeah, I had that
And
problem.
and when we're talking about the conversation about control, the things that have already been done, you cannot control.
Control.
So it's interesting because it's like, and I'm really talking to myself, but I know somebody else is hearing this and they really receiving this because it's like you over here stressed about you can't take it back. You already did it, it's over with. So you have to move forward, and that's just it. If it was gonna be a consequence for it, it probably would already been. And if it is one, you'll be prepared for it. As they just have to look at that like that, and that's just what it is. Now, being a personal trainer and online coach, how do you emphasize the connection between physical health and mental health in your work?
I believe it's everything. I don't even think you can perform. You can't perform in the exercise world at the highest level possible if your mental health isn't where it's going to be. You can't,
Mhm.
like, if you figure out your mental health, and everything else will figure itself out. And I wanted to just chime back in because I heard this today, and I find it really cool when you say, like, what's like in 1 to 10, what's your mental health at? Another question that I heard today is, like, what's your battery at? Like, what's your percentage? Like, 1 to 100. Like where you at? Like, charge wise. And I thought that was so, like, interesting because it's like a different way to ask it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. But um, but I can say that mental health comes first in my line of work, for me at least. Like, if people work with me, their mental health is gonna probably benefit just as much, if not more, than your physical health.
It's interesting. I recently learned I'm back on my getting my body together. And for so long, I forgot the
Congratulations.
importance. I appreciate it. And I forgot the importance of a rest day. And so many people, we prioritize like, let me just keep working, or let me keep working. And then, it didn't click, you had got all this weight down, and then you're trying to go, so, okay, let's turn it up a notch to get the rest of this weight down after playing for so long. And then you get to a point, and then it's like every week the scale is exactly the same. Now, of course, we know muscle weighs more and all that, but the body wasn't changing either. But it wasn't clicking. You don't have not one rest day. You don't have a day where you literally don't do nothing. And so I noticed when I started incorporating rest days back in, I noticed more of a decline on the scale and more of a transformation on my body. Now, I get there are active rest days, and then there are legit like rest days you do absolutely nothing. But I know for my body, I have to have a day where I'm literally just chilling, because if not, at least one, because if not, I'm not going to see I'm going to get stagnant.
Yeah, I think the closest I get to that is Sundays. Sundays is my most. I don't have a day right now where I don't do anything. and I could if I wanted to, but right now I'm on like by the grace of God, I'm gonna be a father in May. So I have like a newfound motivation right now. That's what like there's something. It's a different fuel going inside of my body right now. So like Sunday is my most quiet day. Sundays I go to church with my girl, and then whatever tasks there are to do, and still trying to at the same time, finding that, hey, like let's do something for the holidays. You know what I mean? Whatever it be, whether it be, watch Christmas movies, watch football together, cook meal prep for the week. Like I, I, I definitely don't have rest days right now, but they are important. But Sundays is my most restful day. I look for Sunday is my favorite day of the week.
For sure, for sure. Okay. Mental resilience is a core aspect of success. We all know that. So how does Hunger Breed Success help others to develop their mental toughness, and especially young men?
Hunger Breed Success helps other young men develop their, you said mental resilience?
Yeah.
Honestly, because what I'm pushing right now, I'm pushing prayer, I'm pushing faith, I'm pushing belief, I'm pushing exercise. And if you if you if you pray, like if you don't believe in you right now, you're losing. That's the truth. And I'm gonna tell you that. You know what I mean? If you believe in you, you're winning. You know what I mean? Everything in life right now is about confidence. Everything in life right now is about believing in you and believing you can do something, because your own closest people might not believe in you. You know what I mean? And they might not believe in you just because they're projecting their own fears of themselves on you. So how Hunger Breeds Success is helping these young men is, like, for me, I was 8 years old and I felt like I was fat. And that changed the whole course of my life. You know what I mean? So what I'm doing right now is, like, I'm trying to make sure another 8-year-old doesn't have to feel that. And like slowly but surely, I start an internship this upcoming January at my high school, and I'm ready. Like, I'm hungry to go back and speak to these younger kids. You know what I mean? Like, they see me, like my local high school put Hunger Breeds Success on their basketball warm-ups, and I went to get my glasses near the high school, and like I hear the kids coming out of school. Oh, there's hunger. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm ready like really, like I need to talk to more. I need more talking to people, because not everybody's gonna go on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, look up your stuff and be like, hey, let me figure out what Hunger Breeds Success is gonna do for me. I need to come to them and make more of an impact. But I think I'm showing people that I think I'm showing young men that if you pray and you exercise, you be honest, and you give your best every day, no matter what it looks like. This Hunger Breeds Success thing will help you.
Definitely. And I definitely agree.
Thank you.
Definitely. I think that's good to know that you are really telling them incorporating prayer, because we live in a world that's trying to reject God as more and more. And the fact that people are saying, like, y'all can push y'all agendas, we can push ours too. That's just how I feel. So, keep doing what you're doing. Let's go back to the topic of control. So the desire for control can significantly impact all of our mental health, men, women, whoever, right? Now, here are two effects that are supported by reputable sources. So it says, and the increased risk of mental health issues due to toxic masculinity. Now, according to the toxic masculinity, the article "Toxic Masculinity and Mental Health and How Society's Expectations Impact Men" from the Good Men Project, societal expectations that men should be dominant and emotionless can lead to behaviors like suppressing emotions and asserting power over others. These behaviors are linked to higher rates of depression, anxiety, and even suicide among men. For young men, adhering to these norms can be detrimental to mental health, leading to emotional suppression and reluctance to seek help. Now, toxic masculinity sometimes is an interesting topic, because a lot of times when we see these comments about toxic masculinity, they are by feminine masculine women, and women of the feminist movement. And in this case, there's some sort, you got to really dissect when they talk about toxic masculinity. But what I will say in this case, I do agree that men aren't supposed to be emotionless. Now, there's a difference, and I say all the time between crying and whining, but it's okay to open up and express when things aren't right or when you're feeling the way. So, with you working with the people that you work with, how do you get them to express themselves in a healthy, masculine way?
What I'm pushing right now is there's more strength in being vulnerable than there is in being like strong. You know what I mean? There's more strength in that. And like I like that you bring up the feminist thing, because what I feel like the world is pushing right now, you know, more it's pushing this more than not, is the fact that like women don't need men. You know what I mean? And it might even push that men don't need women. But the reality is God created us, like God created men and women to come together. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
people want to push like, oh, I don't need a man. I can do this, and I don't need no man. You know what I'm saying? And then a guy will be like, I don't need a girl. But the reality is, y'all need each other. Y'all wouldn't be here without each other. So it's like, it's funny how it works, but um, that's what, like, I'm telling people, you got to feel like I'm crying every single week. I cried this morning just off the fact that my boy sent me a message thanking me for he said he was telling me, he's like, yo, yesterday I was talking to um the boss at our job, and he was asking me, like, we were talking about how I got on this health journey and how I started becoming consistent. And I guess the boss, shout out David, he's like, oh, did Eddie help you? And he's like, yo, I thought about this all night. Like, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And then I woke up and I was still thinking about it. And he's like, yeah, he did. He's like, yo, I just want to thank you, And he's like, yo, I'm getting emotional right now. He's like, I don't even know why. And I was like, damn, like, it's shit like that like, it's because life goes so fast, and every single day you're waking up trying to, think about your next thing you're going to do to get to where you're trying to go. Which is why, like, I have a series going right now where I'm trying to speak on what I'm doing daily, off the fact that there's more success in the journey than there is in the destination you're trying to get to. As bad as you want to get there, the fun's in the journey. And I've lost touch of that before, but now I have it back more than ever.
Okay. I like that. It is, and it goes back to what we're going to touch on that in a minute, because I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I like that comment that you backdoor what I said earlier about this episode. Also was kind of inspired by Jackie Hill Perry's comment about the difficulty is the mercy. And I'll get more into that as we get along. But so the second point is the reluctance to seek help. It says the article title, Why Do Young Men Not Seek Help for Effective Mental Health Issues? A systematic review from Springer Link highlights that men are less likely to seek help for mental health issues due to societal norms valuing self-reliance. And I like that statement versus, I'm a man, I don't need it. It's just more so like self-reliance, like you can figure it out all on your own. It says the reluctance can exacerbate mental health problems, leading to higher rates of suicide and untreated mental health conditions among young men. Let's go back to how you were feeling during your parents' split. Did you ever feel like at one point, like, maybe I don't want to be here?
Oh, I like on Earth.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't want to be on Earth in middle school. I didn't want to be on Earth in Jersey. I didn't want to be on Earth a lot of times in life. Just from how I felt inside. There's been a lot of times I didn't want to be alive.
What helped you to push past that? Because there are many people who were not able to.
What helped me push past it is I prayed. I prayed for life to get better. I prayed every single day. I'm going on like 6+ years of praying every single day. And I might have missed 1 or 2 days. And that's only because that I simply forgot, which comes down to waking up and just going too fast with life. You know what I mean? And I noticed that those days were worse than every other day I prayed. And, I think like I'd say one of the reasons I didn't kill myself is definitely because I was too scared to. You know what I mean? I was never a person, God bless the people that had the balls to cut themselves. I didn't have that. You know what I mean? The closest I ever got was picking up a knife in middle school and being like, I don't want to be here, but I didn't have the whatever, the guts to say I'm gonna sit here and take pills or hang myself. And at the end of the day, like, my dad has said it to me so many times. He always said, like, even when I was in Jersey calling him, like, Dad, I don't want to be alive. He would be crying and be like, if you kill yourself, I'm going to kill myself. And then you start thinking, you know, and my dad always said, like, killing yourself is going out the soft way, you know, like, because you can overcome life, but to just go out, you're fucking up other people's life more than you're fucking up your own life, you know? And I think there's a lot of reasons I didn't kill myself, but you know, I'm just happy I didn't, because if I did, you know, my parents would be broken, and I wouldn't have the life I have now, you know. And that's what people have to know. People have to know when they hit that moment when they're like, damn, I hate it. I'm done. I'm calling it quits right now. They have to think about where you were 5 years ago. You were alive and you were probably happier than you were right now. And in 5 years from now, you're going to be alive and a whole lot happier than you are in this moment where you don't want to be alive.
All right. Now this is a great segue because we're going to the next segment, and this one we're going to you be ready to answer them questions because I'm about to hit you with them. I challenge that. And in this section, we do just that. We challenge what we're talking about. Now, as somebody who's overcome suicidal ideation and on the other side of life myself, but I have talked to people who wanted to commit suicide, and I lost one of my close friends to suicide. As a person who knows the power of prayer, reading the Bible, being in the community, learning your self-worth, learning your identity, all those good things, we got to challenge that, because there are many churches that will say, that's the demon. Now it's the suicide. Now let's break it down. Now at the root of it, it is, but it does turn into a mental health issue, mental illness, right? At the root of it, it is demonic, but of course it turns into the mental illness. Now, what's your response when people say, I tried praying the suicide away and it didn't work?
You got to keep praying.
Okay. What does that look like for you?
I pray every day. What it looks like for me is I keep praying. I keep exercising. I keep praying. You know, I keep thanking God for everything He's done. I keep praying for the world in itself. I'm praying for the world every single day. You know, because there's some people who's never prayed before. There's some people who, you know, my family didn't teach me how to pray growing up. I had to go search. I had to go look for God. You know, I came to me thinking He wasn't real, and then I started praying for life to come into something different. He answered he answered the call every single time. So now it's like I just overly express how thankful I am because everything I prayed for came true.
Okay. So this is what I'm hearing with that, because there's a I think it's in Second Chronicles 20. It talks about, I can't get the names, but I wish I had them, but I know there's people who went to war. And I know when as they were going to war, God told them to worship, which it seemed odd because why would you worship in the heat of war? So they went to worship, and in that doing that, God smited the enemies. And so what I'm hearing when you saying, when you were praying and you were being thankful and you just constantly stayed in prayer, like it was almost like you was like, anytime I got that feeling, I went down to do that. In that instance, God kind of fought your enemy of your mind while you were being thankful, while you were worshiping, while you were praising, because most people don't know. And I've learned recently that worship is a bigger war tactic than more people realize in this when you're spiritual realm.
Yeah,
So,
I
so,
love
huh?
I love worshiping.
So for you to say that, I think that's a tactic for someone who is a believer, and they might be saying like, "Well, I didn't try this and I didn't try that." So that's a good tactic that we are. Before we can get to the episode later in the episode where we talk about giving the tips, you already gave a good one. So okay, good. So that's something I don't even know if you realize you did, but that's something people need to keep in mind. And again, I'm not gonna ever just say I don't believe. So did you ever go to therapy at all?
Therapy saved my life. I was ready to talk about that. Therapy saved my life in another way, because it's like when I was in Jersey and my family suggested it, I had this fucked up view of it, like like a therapist, a silver spoon fed therapist, isn't gonna understand my pain and what I come from. And then, like when I got to college over here and I transferred from the community college, and I felt traumatized. So I'm like, I'm gonna go to therapy. Like I gotta try it, you know. And I'm a big like I go to therapy now. I got therapy tomorrow, and you know, and you asked me what my mental health's at. My shit's at a 10. I'm gonna go to therapy. Why? Because it makes me better.
Okay. I like that. I mean, you know, it's just something to keep in mind with people that you can still be good in life and still go to therapy. Like, if I could go, I would go again. But I can't right now. But if I could, I would. Okay, now shifting gears. You're also the owner of the Rhode Island Sports Network. Can you tell what inspired you to create this platform and its mission?
To shine a light on the student athletes of Rhode Island. To shine the brightest light possible.
Okay. Now, you can't tell, but the light shining on you right now from the I can see it. Before I go into my other points, what other advice, or as someone who's overcome many challenges early in life, what advice would you give to any young man navigating family struggles or personal hardships?
Family struggles. I would say communicate with your family. Tell them how you feel. Um, you know, tell 'em- tell them how you feel. Tell them what they're doing and how it makes you feel. Tell them how it's making you feel inside. And you know, personal struggles. It's like everybody's had them. It's like, you know, I tell people like everything in life is a test. You know, God's testing everybody every day. He's gonna stress you. He's gonna test you, and then he's gonna bless you. And it's like we all make mistakes. Like I'm not perfect, and I don't portray to be perfect. I tell people when you see me, just know you're looking at someone who's taken a lot of losses, and you know it happens. That's what life's about. But what matters is how you come back from it. But communication is key. Like if you can if you have good communication skills, you're winning. You know, you're gonna win more than you're gonna lose because you can actually articulate what you want to say to someone. You can process your thoughts, put them into words, and have a real conversation and get somewhere. You know what I mean? And like if you're having family struggles, you gotta like tell them now, or you're gonna be broken one day when you don't have the opportunity to tell them because life's so short. You never know.
All right, so I got two more points as far as how. So my next question, and this is to the audience, but I'm going to answer that. Is there ever a time where being in control is a good thing? Again, this is the challenge you section. So let's see. There are two ways in which it is. So enhanced self-efficacy and efficiency, whatever, and motivation. According to the article, The Benefits of Mental Health and Well-Being from Positive Psychology Today, sense of control is linked to increased self-efficacy and motivation. When individuals believe they have control over their actions and outcomes, they are more likely to engage in proactive behaviors and set meaningful goals. For young men, this can lead to improved mental health by fostering a sense of purpose and direction. Now, before I go to the next one, I think also about people who like don't drink, or they used to drink, you know, all the time, or they do it now in moderation versus when they used to just get drunk and just do whatever, and you know, and then they don't remember what happened because at
Uh-huh.
that point you're out of control. So
Yep.
I think it's kind of like that, you know, and that's, I don't know who that's for somebody who might say, I'm, you know, because everybody's not gonna stop drinking. That's just what it is. But I think too, some people need to get into more of a control with it, because sometimes whenever a struggle comes, this is something you need to know if you might have an addiction or an idol. This is all jumping. Some of this stuff been jumping out today. It's not even the notes. If you have an idol or an addiction, whenever you get really excited or whenever you get really upset, what is the first thing you want to do? That's something for somebody. I don't know who that's for.
I wanted to say too, like I wanted to just like comment and agree with you off the fact that like, you know, I started thinking about it when you were saying it. I'm like when it comes to control, right? God's always in control, but you have power too, off the fact that you can control the input, you can't control the output. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that's important to remember that God's in control. He's gonna steer the wheel, but you gotta get in the vehicle. You gotta put gas in it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta direct life to it in your own way.
Definitely, definitely. And then it goes to the next point. We align today: improve stress management. The same article above notes that perceiving control over one's environment can enhance stress management. Feeling in control allows individuals to approach challenges with confidence, reduce anxiety levels. For young men, this can be better coping mechanisms in high pressure situations, contributing to overall mental well being. In reality, you can't control everything, but however, You got a speech tomorrow. You can be in control of what you're going to say. You're not just going out there and wing it. Of course, it's going to bring about stress because you didn't know. When I was a teacher, it can be save a lot less stress than having your lesson plan together and knowing what you're going to go over today. So that's a form of control. Also, with me, like I said, when it came to the students, I never not had control. That was never an issue for me. Now I know for some teachers that's the issue, but like I didn't have to come in there worried about how they're gonna act today because they already knew. But everybody's a little different. Now let's go back to Jackie Hill Perry's comment that I said earlier. For those that forgot, so you don't have to scroll back. She said in a quick quote from the episode, their most recent episode about social media slander or whatever. I'm gonna put the title in the bio this episode. It says the difficulty is in the mercy. So again, what does that mean? God. So when we go through a lot, she was talking about her going through a lot this year, and I've gone through a lot this year as well too. It's been a great year and a bad year at the same time. If that makes sense. And it's one of those years where, as the year ends, as we wrapping up the year, you know how those years end, you have to sit back and wonder, how did I grow this year? This was not the year for me. I know how, like several things I can pinpoint what I did that I had never done before in this year. So many things, right? And so many things have been definitely struggles, especially with me, going full-time entrepreneur and seeing God. It almost seemed like, and I'll talk more about this in the next week and the weeks after. That's why I said this low-key really could have been a 3-parter for the other 2 episodes that's after this. But it was weird because I'm going full-time entrepreneur and I'm thinking, okay, let me, get a little extra side hustle. Let me maybe get some type of job, go back. And again, I don't want to say too much, but it was just strange because I would be applying these jobs I know I qualify for, and I would not get hired by none of them. I would literally even get to the last round more than once, and they would say, thanks, but we went with somebody else. And some of those jobs are back open now. And I'm just like, so I was the best choice the whole time. So why didn't I get picked? So that's why it's kind of unfortunate, because I'll think like, what am I not doing? But then again, like I said, the difficulty is in the mercy. So you're getting mercy by going through these difficult situations because God is allowing this to happen, because which you're clearly qualified, but you're not getting that job. But you're not getting it because I want you to learn how to fully trust me and rely on me and let me fully control it, versus trying to, well, I need this, or I need that. So I think that's another message that just for me. And I really like when she said that comment, because you get to thinking, when you get beat up so bad, you start to wonder, did I do something? Am I doing something I ain't supposed to be doing and not realizing it? And we all do step up with stuff, but is a difference between slipping up and living a lifestyle of it. But, that's a whole story for another day. But I think that is just something I had to learn about and really go through with this time of my life. So, yeah. Anything you want to add on that before I go to the final section?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you leave it all in God's hands, life's a lot more peaceful. And like I said, He's gonna stress you. He's gonna throw challenges in front of you. You might want something. He's gonna give you. He's gonna give you what you need, not what you want. Even if you might want it and think you need it, He knows better than you do.
Yeah, and look, these are messages for somebody today. All right, y'all, let's go to the final segment for today, which is the weekly sabbatical. And in this time, we kind of just reflect on some things and just kind of go through that. So you're excited. You brought up earlier that you're about to be a first-time father. I know you said it's a new field and you're excited. Now, I could be jumping the gun. Is this your first and only, or is it like
My first, yeah.
You're not first. I'm sorry, I knew it was the first. Is this going to be your only, or is this just the first of many?
No, I'm God willing. At least 2. I have this one's a girl, and one day I would love a son too. My girl would like a son, so definitely won't be the last.
Okay, all right, that's good to know.
Thank
Was the
you.
baby planned, or was it just kind of just happen?
It happened on God's timing. I tell people, if it was up to me, I would have waited way longer. But God's timing's better than mine, because now that it happened, I'm so damn happy about it. So it's like, but like if it was up to me, I would have been like, wait 5 years, wait till I feel like I'm more established. But now it's like, now that it's happened, and now I feel like I feel more energy and more motivation than I ever have before. So it's like it's a blessing, you know.
That's good. Definitely. That's good.
Thank you.
All right. Now, coming from is the term control a biblical way to describe a seemingly common problem? This is an article by Daniel Sherbert, whatever. It says the heart of control, depending on what control of the spectrum someone is on, their heart can look very different. But here are some common characteristics of a proud, controlling heart. Control fundamentally trusts in the self and not God. It says the Bible often speaks of this idea: Psalm 4 and 5, Proverbs 3 and 5, Isaiah 26, 3 through 4, Jeremiah 17, 5 through 9, Romans 12, 16, 2 Corinthians 1 and 9, and 1 Peter 2 through 21 through 25. It says that essentially a person who trusts in self is leaning upon their own finite understanding to judge what is best, right, and good, and often develops a specific expectation on how circumstances should play out or how people should respond. I tell people all the time, a spirit of control hates to see me coming because I can't be tamed. So a lot of people who are control freaks, they can't stand me. Anybody, even if they don't know they're a control freak, I know they are. They can't stand me because a control freak wants. I'm a very unconventional person. So I do things. This podcast is unconventional. A lot of things I do is unconventional. I'm a whole ghostwriter. How many ghostwriters do you know? Exactly.
0.
Exactly.
One now.
So one now. So the thing with that is when people say I should do things like this, I'm like, why does it have to be like this? It could be like this. It's the same result. So why does it have to be like that?
My thing is I got my button. It's called my fuck it button. And all about fuck what they think, you know. And like people take it how they want, but I work on my button every day. I maintenance it and I keep clicking it.
If people were to binge listen to season 8, this is the season where we talked about death to people pleasing, like the whole season in some way. So hopefully, if you binging this, you'll really get out of that if you struggle with that. Now, from the post, it says control often places a person's individual will before God's and or others as self-centered judgments and expectations are then formed. This attitude is the opposite of what Jesus prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane. Father, if you are willing, remove this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done. Control focuses on its hope on circumstances and not on God and his promises. As a person forms a circumstantial expectation of what is right, best, and good, this shapes what they hope will happen to bring about and what they see as best, right, and good. As circumstances turn out differently than they hoped, however, it can make their heart sick in a variety of ways. So even then, Jesus himself said, I don't want this to happen, but still your perfect will. And so I think that when we're praying for certain things, even like if I go back to the job thing, I will always ask for it, but I would say, but your perfect will. And clearly it wasn't because I didn't get it. So I think that that's a sense of peace. It got to be when you praying that, because if it was meant to be, it would have been.
Absolutely.
Tell me about a time where you wanted something that real bad, you didn't get it, and later you was happy you didn't get it.
Oh, I mean, honestly, this summer, I came back from an event called GymCon where there were a lot of gym owners, and God willing, one day Hunger Breeze Success will be a gym. And, I came back in May with the mindset, I'm not going to go back to school. Why? Because everybody there said you don't need a degree in order to own a gym. So then my mind got fucked up where I'm waking up every day all summer searching for a job, searching for a full-time job fucking to make 50K when it's like Hunger Breeze Success is going to be able to make 10 times that amount. But I got so caught up in, like just I got so caught up in being like, I'm not going to go to school. I'm going to just get a job and then do my Hunger Breeze Success stuff on the side. But none of them jobs would have made me happy. And when you start looking at like what's out there without going and doing the stuff you actually want, it's like none of this stuff was going to make me happy. And I was applying for jobs. I didn't get a couple. And like all summer I battled this shit, and I it's really big thank you to my girl and, my friends that I talked to about it and my parents, because they sat there all summer listening to me. And I never stressed so much and so fucking long of a time. I was stressed all summer, but I came out, on the other side of it stronger than I've ever been. And, I wanted that shit. I thought I wanted it, but I really was just trying to find that, like, that safety blanket, you know what I mean? And that was a time recently that, like, really, I'm happy it went the way it went. But at the time I was hurt, hurt trying to figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. And I know I know all about the safety blankets. All right. So next point about this. It says control can also put a person in the place of God. Those who struggle with control trust in their own reason and often only in practice turn away from God's wisdom. Believing their own will is best and consequently wanting it accomplished. This can be an intentional turning from God to self, Jeremiah 17:5, but is more often revealed in one or more emotions, such as anger, discouragement, depression, anxiety, or fear displayed as God's providence unfolds contrary to what I hope for. So it then says, here are some consequences of control. If you're a person who struggles with control, this is for you. You says you're being worn out or discouraged by trying to control things that only God can control. Having a hard time forgiving since letting go of a situation is difficult. Wide-ranging fallout from a person's anger, anxiety, disappointment, depression when life does not go their way. Strain and or destroy relationships with God and others since their focus is on fulfilling self and not serving God and others. You laugh when I said something about forgiveness. Is it easy or hard for you to forgive?
My whole life it's been easy to forgive. I it's yeah, I've seen people scream and yell at each other, and the worst things they can say, and the next 10 minutes, an hour later, it's I love you. And I think that's played a role in my ability to forgive.
Definitely, because I know people that'll be mad, they'll die mad. So, what is your suggestion or your tips that from you had a little different than most people, but what is your tips or suggestions to anybody who may say they struggle with forgiveness today?
You got to forgive because God forgives. And if you're not forgiving, you're not living the way you're saying you're living. And at the end of the day, like, even if you, like, say this person that you might be mad at for whatever happens, like, you don't have to continue building the relationship, but just forgive them and take the grudge and take the anger and the hate, take the hate out of your heart, because the hate's not benefiting you. And you don't even know how they feel. They might not care. They might be thinking about it every day with you. But it's like, you don't have to, just because you forgive somebody doesn't mean you have to become, like, best friends with them again. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
forgive, like, forgive, like. And I think if you're watching this and you're struggling with forgiveness and our words don't do enough, go over to YouTube and type in Wallow267 I forgave my brother's killer, and he's a walking testimony of forgiveness. And if we can't do it, go over there and spend 8 minutes and get a little bit better at forgiving.
For listeners who might feel motivated, unmotivated, or lost today, what are 3 actionable steps that they can take to improve their mindset and take control of their own lives?
Pray, exercise, whether it's buying dumbbells to go at home, going for a walk. Even if you're going for a walk, that's a start. That's a great freaking start. It doesn't. You don't even have to enter the gym if you're scared. Go to a Zumba class. Go shoot a basketball. Go swimming. Exercise, no matter what it is. And the third one is find yourself. Find yourself. Learn what the fuck makes you happy. What makes you happy is what's gonna push you in life.
What is next for Hunger Breed Success and Rhode Island Sport Network? Do you have any exciting projects or events on the horizon?
Absolutely, a lot of big things. Thanks to God. I think the next thing right now is dropping a new logo for Hunger Breed Success. Finally got the logo. Building the website up. We have the website with the products, but we're gonna get the website with the story, the story of Hunger Breed Success, what we value, how we became a thing. We're gonna looking like a partnership with Project Purple. a local nonprofit in Connecticut that does a lot of work for pancreatic cancer. Is gonna come out with a collab hoodie similar to this, but for pancreatic cancer. I'm gonna take it upon myself to, in 2025, start doing cancer walks for different cancers. My mom, she beat cervical cancer, and you never heard of a cervical cancer walk. So we're gonna do a lot of things for the community, make a lot of cultural impact, help a lot of people. And for the sports network, I'm going to make it a point to be able to do more interviews. I'm thinking Rhode Island Sports Network has an opportunity to be the next, comparisons of Thief of Joy. But I feel like as time goes on, when it comes to Rhode Island sports, people are going to look at us as the overtime of Rhode Island. We're going to keep shining the brightest light possible. A lot of big things. And, it's not in my control, but I'm going to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I know within the coming week or two, we're going to send Hunger Breeds Success shirts to the Pivot. God willing, maybe they'll wear them. And we're going to keep helping the people, keep serving, and everything's for baby LV. It's great.
Well, that's funny because my next question was, as you prepare to become a father, how do you envision balancing business growth and personal development and family life?
I just need 30 minutes a day to exercise and a couple minutes to pray, and everything else will work itself out. Business, me and my girl are incorporating business together as much as possible because, it's impossible to do everything by yourself. Continue to build a team that sees the vision and wants to get some work under their belt in many different fields. And personal life, balance is what it is. The way I look at balance is you do what you want. You can call it what you want, but I'm going to just keep doing the things that make me happy and provide for my family.
All right, good stuff. Final question for everybody today. What is your relationship with control after today? How do you plan on letting go and letting God moving forward? I think what I want y'all to really understand is that when you realize that it's out of your control, you get more peace. There's so many situations where I should have been mad at, but I just kind of was like, there's nothing I can do. When my airhead went out in the summertime, living in Houston, hottest day possible, I mean, I was mad, I was frustrated, but it was just like, it's nothing I can do. So when you really had that attitude, it helps a little better than constantly feeling like it's something that you can do because you just can't. Anything else you want to add or pull up today before we go?
Yes. Stop caring what people think. Do what makes you happy. Pray more, exercise more, eat healthier, serve yourself because you'll be able to better serve others. Somebody out there is counting on you, but you got to count on you. And I'll leave you with this. If you were a kid, would you look up to you? Have the best day of your life.
Oh, wow. All right, that's a good one. All right, y'all. Thank you for pulling up on us today. Tune in next week as we start the final two-parter for season 8. PSA signing out. Always remember, keep your head up like your neck hurt. Remember who you are. Make your mind up. Don't let it make you. And remember, as always, I love us for real.